All right, Wednesday morning, doing another kind of behind the scenes test, multi stream test, but this time we are going to be talking briefly to our mystery guest that's coming up this week. And we have to plan some of our, like, how we're going to record the podcast episode. I don't want to get too complicated, but I want to have some fun with this person. And we were going to kind of FaceTime each other and try to figure out if it's possible to do a few things. I was like, you know what? Let's just make it a live so that one, I have to test this out anyways. So let's brainstorm behind the scenes and try this out live and just see if it works. And then if it does, the schedule is to record the episode tomorrow, Thursday evening. The one thing here, hey, Kate, Bloomin' Truth is here, checking things out. Let me know if you guys are watching this, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, how's the video look? And then more importantly right now, how is the audio? Are we getting the Mr. 900 sound where it pitches down, or do I go Mr. Roboto and things is my audio starting to get like I'm a robot? I think we have it narrowed down to what the issue was or how to kind of get around it for now. And that was a resource issue through Firefox, which was the browser of choice using StreamYard to multi-stream right now. Within the last, I think, 6 months or so, there's people that are having issues with StreamYard live streaming. Initially, they preferred that you use Chrome. There were some issues with Chrome, and so they've been pushing people to use Firefox, to use Chrome, and then they've been pushing people to use Firefox. I'm not a tech guy. Just tell me how to get this stuff to work. Okay, so Kate's saying the video is good, the sound 90% of the time is fine, and then it goes to Mr. 900 where the tone pitches down. And I think that is just through Instagram. And I don't know a way around that right now. That's another issue that I'm going to have the tech guys over at StreamYard take a look at and see what's causing it. The good thing is, even when it tones down, I think it's kind of funny. Every now and then you get kind of serious and then the audio tones down a bit, but you can still understand it. And beggars can't be choosers, because what we want to do is when we live stream, we want to be able to do that on multiple platforms, the major ones, obviously YouTube and on Instagram. Currently, no way to do it on TikTok also, but I'm sure that's kind of down the road. But to get Instagram involved with the live stream, it's not a perfect thing just yet. But that's good news that the video's fine, the video's good, and then the sound 90% of the time. It doesn't detract from the message, is what Kate's saying. And so that's kind of what we're wanting to do. So we're just waiting for our guest to pop into the room, and we're going to go over a few ideas on how I want to open up the show tomorrow when we record the podcast. The podcast is not live. Although, I do think it would be fun to record a few podcast episodes doing a live. It's a little more kind of Wild West when you do a live. I like a controlled environment of a closed room, because I do think that there's less pressure on guests and on me as the host of doing a podcast episode where you're sitting down with somebody and interviewing them in a closed room where it's not live. There's less pressure on them. So that's what we're going to do. I was talking to my guest this morning who it should be here any second, any minute now. And we were going to FaceTime and go over a couple intro ideas for tomorrow's episode. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we I have to test some things out anyways. Why don't, if he can, hop on the live and we'll make it some content, some behind the scenes content. Lives can definitely get off topic. And So Kate, here's the thing that I have realized when I'm sitting down with somebody doing a podcast in a closed room versus doing something live. It's more intimate when you're one-on-one in a closed room that is not live. Our guest is here, so hold on, let me bring them in. All right. So he is here.
What's up?
And I'm not gonna introduce you or anything like this. This is more of a behind the scenes live setting up for tomorrow's episode. So we're just teasing people by showing you, Greg.
Scary.
So here's my idea. I was just kind of filling everybody in on what I was testing just now, and the fact that you and I were going to do a FaceTime to go over some ideas on how to intro the recording tomorrow. You and I have a recording scheduled for tomorrow night. And I know in your studio, we're looking at it right now in the background, you've got your drum set there. Here's what I was thinking, and you tell me if this is possible. Number one, is the audio good for you? You can hear me? Okay, good.
Sounds sexy.
Any issue with like your work, finding out you're doing a live in the middle of your workday, or your wife?
No, it should be fine.
Rach gonna text you and say, "What the fuck are you doing at 10 o'clock in the morning, messing around?"
We'll just say it's 10 p.m.
Oh yes, this is 10 p.m. on Wednesday. So here's what I was thinking for the intro tomorrow. I would come on, and it's going to be a closed room. It's not going to be live.
Right.
So that's what I was telling people, that it's a little more intimate when you're doing a one-on-one interview when it's in a closed room as opposed to being a live. I was going to come on, do my normal kind of intro of the show, not show you necessarily. And then I wanted to have your music video play with your song that we talked about.
Yeah.
And then the big reveal after the video plays, but you're sitting behind where you're at now on the drum set.
Right.
And have you seen any of the like Howard Stern interviews where he's like interviewing Metallica or whatever?
Yeah. And they play.
And they kind of play, but they're kind of on their set.
Yeah.
And he's talking to him. I was thinking maybe like the beginning, if you think your studio's set up for it. If not, I don't want to make it too complicated.
Yeah.
But you start out behind on your drum set, and I don't know if like your mic can go back there.
Yeah. Let me, I'm curious if you can even hear me on the other mics. So let me check that really quick.
Yeah.
Also, my face looks terrible. My lighting is so goofy. It's picking up the white screen on I don't know if I need to make it smaller.
What do you mean, like your exposure?
The border around the live stream, you know what I mean? This white is coming from, let's see if I take that down.
Oh, well, I mean, it's however you want to.
There we go. No, it's just my camera, no big deal. Let me see.
I love the fact that you're able to kind of play around with the stuff, though. You know, most of the people I've talked to, it's setting their phone up, and then whatever video and audio we get.
Yeah. No, it should work. I want to try something. I'm going to turn this mic down.
This is essentially what we're doing. I kind of like behind the scenes here. This is stuff that Greg and I were going to do on a FaceTime anyways. And I was like, let's just make it content.
Could you hear me on that other mic?
Did you? I can hear you now.
How about now?
Check, no, it sounds like you're on the other side of the room when you do that.
Okay. So it'll be interesting to see what I can play. I want to play and just see what you can hear. It'll be really interesting. I'm not sure what you're going to hear.
So another thing that we can do is, because we're recording and it's not a live necessarily, if we have to, you can move your active mic that you're using now just closer to where you're sitting when you're on the drum, so that you can talk to me for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when we sit down to do a little bit more of the interview, we can kind of stop. I can always edit that part out, and then you come back to this position.
Yeah. It's actually it's like right here. So this will be, because I can come over. So I'll just be farther away from the camera, but essentially I can turn and play from here. And this mic will pick everything up. I'm just curious how distorted it might come through.
So when you're playing then on the drums, we're going to see you from behind? Because I don't know what the setup is, how your setup is.
Yeah, I'm just running off my iMac, so it's a stationary camera.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be, unless we use my phone to pick up a different side of,
And we do have
two things.
We do have that capability, I believe. There's a lot of really cool stuff that we can do within StreamYard, and I think if you have an iPhone, my old co-host Chelsea, when I was talking to her, she was able to use her iPhone in a different part of the room, and we could feed that into our main thing. But if it gets too complicated, that's what I don't want to get too complicated. I realize we don't have the $500 million Sirius XM studio and a bunch of people helping us out.
Let me copy. Let me try something. Let's see. See if it'll work. It'd be pretty cool if we could. Yeah, 'cause there we go. It's going in.
So do you see at the bottom of your screen here within StreamYard, I think it's a present button. And it says, when you click that, it says extra camera. Your iMac should be able to see your iPhone as the extra camera once you have that going.
Okay. Do I need the app should it be the app?
You can go either way. The app is primarily for people using just their phone. You're streaming it through your iMac, and then you're just using your phone as an extra camera.
Yeah.
So you don't need to.
Like it's letting me go in. It says entering, but then it goes to what am I missing here? It says use Streamer on this to tap the Safari icon. Oh, it's wanting me to go to Safari. Does that make sense?
I'm kind of discovering it as you are right now. I know Chelsea was able to, as we were playing around doing our live, she was able to get the extra feed. It pops up then on my screen, and then I can add it into our recording.
Okay. Here we go. I can mute this. I'll mute this one. So I got a camera.
And then you have to add it to your thing on your side.
Let's see.
You see the present button at the bottom?
Oh, hold on.
Okay, there we go.
This one is muted. Let's see. Maybe it's just too close to the mic. Hold on. Okay. I think I have to turn the sound down on it and mute it.
Okay. This is cool. So, I mean, learning how to do some of this stuff here. So maybe, Amanda's here. Amanda, what's up? Good morning.
Hold on 1 second.
So what I would do, Greg, when we're recording the episode tomorrow,
go ahead.
Oh, maybe you're not able to hear me.
Go ahead.
When you're recording for tomorrow, turn the camera sideways so it matches, because we're all horizontal here on the recording.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
So what we're doing right now, hey, Anna, good morning. Just doing some behind the scenes, working out how we're going to record our podcast episode for Thursday night with this week's guest. And we're probably making this a little too complicated. Amanda and I were able to kind of discover, getting Instagram involved with all of our streaming and stuff. And so now we're adding some more features that StreamYard's really cool. And we're trying to get it all to work.
1 second.
So as Greg's trying to set up to where, so what I'm hoping to do tomorrow is to open up the podcast, and we're going to stream Greg and his band's music video, and then we're going to have Greg come in to do his interview. But I want to get him at his drum set at the beginning. And the way it's set up and the way his iMac is set up for the main interview, it's kind of stationary. So if he turns to play on the drums, we're seeing the back of him. So now we're trying to see, can we introduce a third camera using his phone to set it up somewhere in the front so that we can see him.
Trying to find a spot.
And I don't think that Greg can hear us.
No.
Or he can't hear us well enough because he's got the sound going through his headset, which he's taken off as he's moving around his own studio. Thanks, Anna.
I can barely hear you, but yeah, I'm trying to find just something to lean it against for right now. So I have I got to find a stand for my phone. But
yeah, but as long as you kind of know what I was thinking, and I think you're on the same page, I think that'll be pretty cool. Because then what I can do is, we'll start out. Let's see, I'll remove that one. And we'll be like, hey, it's the Awesome Tossing Salad podcast. I'm your host, Brian Simatros. And then we'll go right into your music video. And then all of a sudden, then you come in, we'll introduce you, and then you will turn around, and then we'll add in your third. Yeah, even that there, Greg, I think looks kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'll figure something out. It'll probably be good in front, but.
So what I was kind of telling everybody is, so I would start out like this, Greg. And then introduce the show and everything. And then I would run your music video. And then I would pop you up. And then you and I can start kind of chatting real briefly. But then I'm thinking of maybe even asking you. You might have to brush up tonight. I was like, can you play your drum section of that music video? But play a little bit of it. So then you would turn around. Or you're sitting there already, ready to go. And then we would be able to cut to the third video angle.
Yeah. I can try to play that.
This isn't making it too difficult, right?
No, it's fine. Do you want me to try to play and see what you hear?
Yeah.
You can talk to me while I'm on it.
Okay.
Because I'm all mic'd up, but you can't. It's coming through here.
I can pick it up. I can hear it.
1 second.
So then when he turns around to play tomorrow.
Did you hear that?
I can hear it. I'm wondering if it's blowing out though.
All right. Blowing out?
It's blowing out a little bit. I'm wondering, I don't know if I have control over the levels.
Oh, hold on.
Or maybe you do on your side.
Yeah, let me turn that input down. I can hear you while I'm playing.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's blown out a little bit, but I don't think, because we don't have somebody producing the show while we're creating the content. But I think when I go back to edit the show, I can lower it down a little bit to where it's not blowing things out, but it's still.
Let me see something. So when I do, let me try something really quick.
Is that just picking up your vocal mic, the drums that we're hearing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try something.
So now it's muted. I can't hear anything.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can get the other mic. So what happens? So I can control it with this mic. I can turn it way down.
So when you turn around to play your part of the song, you can turn the input down.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll pause for a little bit, and which is not a big deal because I'm editing the podcast anyways.
Yeah, it'll be really fast. I'm going to try it. See if this sounds any better. I have the mic facing away from me.
Okay.
So I just want to try one more time.
It's
same.
It's still kind of blowing out.
Okay.
I mean, you can kind of tell what you're doing. I know it's not like how you're wanting it to sound.
Yeah.
But
give me I'm just curious to see, give me 30 seconds and let's see if this sounds better.
Yeah, you're fine. So anybody that's kind of hopping on or popping in and out right now, all we're doing is kind of behind the scenes of getting set up to record tomorrow's podcast. Tomorrow night, this is my guest for the week. And I was going to have him perform a little bit at the very beginning. And whenever we're presented with capabilities within the software that we're using, like StreamYard, and we're able to do multi angles, and Greg can not only play the drums, but he has a little background in all of the electronics in the background. So we're trying to just figure out how do we make this sound good. So yeah, go ahead. It kind of sounds the same. It's not sounding like it's bad, but it's kind of sounding the same. It's too much input that's kind of blowing out the levels. So Greg's kind of running around, kind of setting a few of the mics up a little differently.
All right.
I'm so glad, as he's getting his headset on, I'm so glad, Greg, that you've got a little background in the electronics set up here also in the recording. Because there's no way, I kind of understand what you're doing, but there's no way I could try to help explain to have you get it set up. And even if it's not perfect, it's fine.
Yeah. It's, I'm sure there's some stuff I can look at. Cause like, if the mics that I'm running here came through, but what happens is, so I've got a processor or an audio interface that,
right.
So I have 8 microphones on the drums. This one happens to be what I call a room mic. So it captures the room. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, like if you're recording at Abbey Road, like these room mics are the things that like drive a good recording, which we'll get into someday.
Right.
But so I had to flip it to this other setting where it seems to only be grabbing this mic. So that's what's interesting is, because if I recorded what I just did to you and sent it to you, so that's another thing I was saying is we could do a little snippet,
right,
record it, and you'd have a clip you could play almost. It'd be like what it would sound like, and then along with the video. But
yeah, but I kind of want it to be live. Yeah, as you're kind of doing it, which is kind of silly because it's edited anyways. We're not going out live. Yeah, but it's good to know. I mean, we're pushing the boundaries of the Tossing Salad podcast recordings. Yeah. And I love the fact that you mentioned that this is like being in Abbey Road and you're producing my episode.
No, there's so much to get into on that stuff. But yeah, there's probably like a little tweak here or there that maybe I could get that sound to come through.
Amanda says, what if the mic was a bit further from the drums?
We just tried that a little bit. It's still in the room. But you said it didn't make much of it. Like I could put it out in the hallway and then you're going to it'll just sound like somebody's playing drums in another room.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're able to drum for a little bit and, we'll have you do it for 30 seconds or a minute. We'll see if you can recreate your music video. which I'm excited to let people kind of hear and talk about how that came about. Um, but I'm excited to have the third angle, which I think will be kind of fun. And are we sure that it's not picking up through your phone?
I turned the mic off on the phone.
Okay.
Otherwise you get that echo, because I can hear a little bit of you on my phone, so I don't
Okay.
have it all the way off. I had to turn that sound down so I don't hear you, and I had to turn my mic off on that, so I'm muted.
Amanda says it still sounds good. So Amanda, from doing lives and podcasts with me and everything, when Greg's playing a little bit, and I think you kind of know what I'm trying to have Greg do. I want him to, get behind the drums and basically do his part of the song that we're going to showcase tomorrow. Do you think that's good for a listening experience, or it's going to just be blown out sound coming out of your speakers? So, I mean, if it's too much, I can always cut it down to like 10 seconds or whatever. The meat and potatoes are going to be talking to Greg.
Yeah, I just have to figure out how to. Are you running your mic through your computer?
My mic is going through my Mac Studio, so it's hooked up via USB.
Okay. Yeah, because let me think about that.
Amanda would like it as a viewer. Amanda, what do you think? I was also debating whether or not Greg and I should do the podcast without any pants on, so that there's this, it's always kind of keeping us a little on edge to where nobody can see what's going on below the video frame. I think the playing live is cool. Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's something kind of different that we've never done before, but adding in new things and trying to be different always is a problem for me.
Yeah, I just need to play around with it a little bit and see if there's a way, because I'm running through my audio interface. So the drums should be, that's how I record into the same computer. I just can't figure out why you couldn't hear that when I, tried to change it. It's interesting.
Wajet Ali 10, how are you doing this morning? Wherever you're from, I think you're watching on Instagram. So Greg, I think you and I are on the same page as to what we're trying to do. If it becomes kind of a shit show or we just can't make it work out or whatever, which, we'll be able to use a little bit of it, but at some point, the main thing is you kind of sitting where you are now. We'll get you just turned around and then kind of talking. But I think it's kind of cool, the multi-angle, and
yeah, I like it.
And that wasn't too hard to figure out. Like, you'd be able to get that camera angle back on.
Oh, the one over here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we can find a better one too. Yeah, I just don't have anything I need to get something my phone will connect into. So I think I'll just steal my daughter's. She has one for her iPad. I'll steal hers.
You could just have Rach come in and she can just be your camera person. Get that motion of the camera, the zooming in and out.
Oh, yeah, that would work.
The Maroon 5 where the camera goes around you as you're drumming.
That'd be pretty sick, actually.
So I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to have a good time tomorrow. We got a ton of stuff that we can talk about. We'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm looking forward to it, buddy.
And I think as far as the audio issues I was having, I think, according to Kate and Amanda, the audio for me is sounding okay. So I don't have a resource issue on this side. So I should be kind of ready to go.
Yeah, you sound great too.
Well, good. All right. Well, I think we're set here. I don't want to keep you too much because I know you're kind of just doing your morning smoke break or whatever.
That's right. This is my coffee break. Got to get back upstairs and help the patients.
So we will talk about all this stuff, get to know you. So Greg, I appreciate it. And then if you have any questions or something, just shoot me a message sometime today.
All right, dude.
Behind the scenes worked out today. Love it.
We'll talk soon.